Hello vapers, this is Vaping with an acquired brain injury checking in. As having a bit of I'm going to try and get a politician on board to help the vaping industry in Ireland. I've been smoke free for 3 years with the help of vaping. It's turned into a hobby at this stage. Building coils and buying mods and whatever, and doing all the good things that we do in vaping, and enjoying every minute of it. Now, somebody told me 3 years ago that I was able to give up smoking with a product that was going to be enjoyable. I would say, yeah, right. Because I've been a smoker for 34 years and I tried NRTs and they weren't enjoyable. And I had a relapse after a year, and it was Christmas. I had a relapse and I started smoking again, and I was smoking heavier than I was before. And it's amazing. As soon as I start doing the vlog, it starts fucking raining. Anyway, so when somebody introduced me to vaping, I thought, I'm going to give it a shot because I'm desperate to give up smoking because I wasn't feeling the best. I was always getting out of breath when I was walking any distance, and it was tough going. But when somebody offered me the small pen-like devices, my world changed overnight. I was a non-smoker from that day on. I never touched a cigarette since. And I had no issues whatsoever. I had no withdrawal symptoms. I had nothing. I was able to just take up this vaping, and it was like a duck to water. It was so easy, and it worked. And 3 years later, I'm still smoke free, and I'm on 0.3 milligrams of nicotine, which is virtually zero. And it may as well be on zero at this stage. So I'm not doing this because I'm addicted to nicotine. I'm doing this because I actually enjoy it. And for one, I know that it's keeping me off cigarettes. And now let's get into the scientifics of all this. People saying, oh, but sorry about this. If I sit here, because I've got a light coming in the back, if I sit here, to obscure the light, because if I move here, I suddenly go dark. Yeah? So I'll stick my head here, and you should be able to see me. So anyway, as far as me, at school, my favorite subject at school was history, and whatever I do in life, if there's something I want to learn, if there's something I want to know, I'd look at certain things at face value, but I always go back and I dig up the roots of certain things, and smoking was one of them. I went back to 1917 when America joined the First World War. Now, in America in 1917, not many women smoked. It was unfashionable. They were advised against it. They were said, that this is not for women at all. Even cigarettes back then, even the packets, were not appealing to women. But when their husbands, brothers and sons, whatever, went to fight in the First World War, the tobacco industry turned their attention on the women in America who were alone, and they were saying that cigarettes were going to comfort you. And within 2 years, the medical profession noticed a sharp increase in lung diseases amongst these women, where there were no lung diseases before. And they noticed all this within 2 years. And so in 1919, they said there was an epidemic of lung infections with women whose husbands were away fighting a war, and the tobacco industry had targeted the women whilst they were away. and now they're suffering for it. And all this is documented. And as we can tie in now with the vaping industry, which has been around for at least 10 years, I don't think there is one case that has given the medical profession cause for concern concerning health problems or lung problems or cancer associated with electronic cigarette use. It hasn't showed its head. You know, it hasn't emerged as a probable health risk within those 10 years. But we have our, the Irish Cancer Society and all these other organisations saying that these needs to be tested for at least 30 years. That is nonsense. Whoever planted that thought into their minds is out of touch with reality. Because these are helping so many people to quit smoking. At least 200,000 people have started using the safer alternative to cigarettes to quit smoking. And with the 200,000 in Ireland, how many of those people have presented to their GP with serious lung problems? We haven't heard anything. We haven't read any of these stories in the paper. If there was a problem, we'd be the first to know. It would be headline news. Because we have the headline news with all these Stanton-esque glances coming out saying that, you know, kids could take up electronic cigarettes. They put that on the front pages. But there's no evidence to back up these claims. Well, actually, there is more evidence to dispel those rumours. I'd say rumours. You know, because it's not facts. It's not facts based on reality. So we have these do-gooders, these liberals, we have these quasi-scientists trying to close the vaping industry down to protect the tobacco industry. And we have a fight on our hands in the vaping industry to try and get people on our side, to try and get allies within government departments. But it's very hard when people in the government departments are beholden to Europe. So when Simon Harris signs the TPD, the Tobacco Products Directive, unilaterally, didn't bother going out asking the public, you know, how they feel about using vaping products. He didn't go around door to door, you know, saying, you know, or, you know, going into vaping shops, you know, and getting some insight into the vaping community. No, he just sits back in his office, signs the TPD into Irish law, pats himself on the back, and brags about it on Twitter. And this is going to kill people. These laws are going to kill. They're designed to kill people because 5,000 people already died from a smoking-related disease in Ireland alone. And when we have Minister Harris signing in the TPD, which is going to make it more difficult for people to take up vaping in Ireland, going to make it much more nasty product, which people aren't going to use because it's the Europeans' idea of vaping, what they have in store for us, is going to be nasty. People are going to stay smoking. And so Simon Harris giving himself a pat on the back. We need somebody to actually turn around and say, look, we're going to have a vote of no confidence against Minister Harris because he's incompetent. He's not looking out for the best interest of the Irish smoker who wants to quit. And then we have the health officials who claim that they care for children. And if a child starts smoking at the age of 12, they'll turn around to that child and say, you are not allowed to use the safer alternatives to quit until you are 18. So they would have been smoking for 6 years before there is any help for them to quit. And by that time, They're going to be totally addicted to cigarettes, and they have their social life. They won't have any thoughts about quitting smoking because they're enjoying themselves too much. So we don't have anybody caring for the young in society. We don't have anybody caring for the people who are trying to quit smoking in society. The only people we have in government officials and professors are the ones who are looking out for Pfizer and GlaxoSmithKline and all the rest of these criminals. And it beggars belief, because worldwide 6 million people die from a smoking related disease, and they die because the big tobacco companies have manipulated the nicotine in their products. They made it so addictive that after even a packet of cigarettes you're addicted. So a child gets addicted to cigarettes and they're essentially addicted for life. And the tobacco companies get away with it. They turn around and say it's people's choice to smoke, but they took it away when they actually manipulated nicotine to make it more addictive. So how can it be a choice? What about the people who try to quit smoking? They find it impossible to quit. The big tobacco companies turn around and say they refuse to quit. There needs to be fresh thinking on this whole topic, on this whole subject. And then we have the apologists in the vaping community won't make the distinction between the nicotine in here and the nicotine in tobacco products. They won't make the distinction. And what I'm trying to say is the nicotine in tobacco products is highly addictive. The nicotine in these products is not very addictive at all. But we are being told that it's highly addictive. End of story. If it is so highly addictive, I would be on the highest level of nicotine at this stage. I've been on using these for 3 years. But no, I reduced it down to 0.3 milligrams. No issues, no withdrawal symptoms, nothing. So we need the distinction has to be made. That's all I'm saying. And as for the vaping business in Ireland, we need somebody to actually turn around and say they're going to stand by the vaping community, the businesses, the vendors. They need insurances that they're going to be protected, that they're going to be able to carry on trading as they see fit, without any interference from Europe. And this has to happen, because if you want a healthy society, you're going to have to help those people who are actually providing the choices for these people to actually lead a healthier lifestyle. It's a no-brainer when you think about it. You think about how much it costs to care for somebody who's dying from a smoking-related disease. But the pharmaceutical companies don't care. They're making money selling the drugs to care for these people. So there are all tie-ins. So you have the big tobacco companies making vast $80 billion or pounds, whatever, a year. You have the pharmaceutical companies riding on the back of them, making their big bucks from people dying from a smoking-related disease. Then you get the government creaming it by raising the taxes on these products. And they're afraid of their shit for losing all this tax revenue from cigarettes if people start using the safer alternatives. So who's looking out for public health? The only people looking out for public health are the vapors and vaping community, the vaping vendors. These are the only people looking out for us. We don't have any politicians coming out and standing up for us and talking about this, taking this issue head on and taking it to the door and say, look, this is what the reality is. And these people need protecting, the smokers who want to quit smoking, and the vendors need protecting so their business can grow. And once a business grows, look how much tax is being drawn in from the businesses which are made from people trying to quit smoking. That is never taken into consideration. So there needs to be fresh thinking on this, and I wish people would take it on board and raise this issue and make people listen. And if they won't listen, a vote of no confidence is in order. Seriously. That's what has to happen. We need fresh thinking. We need good people. We need people with common sense. We need people who aren't afraid to take on the likes of Europe, take on the likes of the liberals, take on the likes of the nanny statists. This is what we need. Anyway, there are my thoughts on the matter. Tally bye.